Another wonderful day and another wonderful video. What's up, ProGuides family? My name is Trey, and today we've got a fantastic video for you. Today, we're going to be talking about the best agents to main that aren't heavily contested picks. Meaning, we aren't going to be talking about the usual Sage Brimstone you see in every game. While this list isn't super meta, for maining an agent, you want to make sure you can get them for almost every game. And put in the right spot, every agent in Valorant can shine. All of those agents are fantastic if mastered, so putting your time into these agents won't be wasted. But before we get into our list, our question of the day is, what agent do you main? In our Discord, we can see we have a ton of Sage mains and Cypher mains on the role selection page. For me, I love to play Sova as much as I can because both of his arrows provide amazing value and he has tons of lineups you can learn to even further your skill from the opponents. Let us know your mains in the comment below. Starting off our list, we have Omen. Quite an unusual pick, you might think, but with his recent buffs in patch 0.5 and the quality of life changes coming at release, he has a lot of promise. With the increase in smoke duration and projectile speed, you will see him a lot more in competitive play. Right now, Brimstone is currently king in the controller category, but slowly Omen will work his way up there. With his kit, he's currently the mastery of trickery. Using his dark cover to block out multiple lines of sight, and with his shrouded step, he can get to places enemies won't expect. There are a lot of times and places where his shrouded step gets Omen to very favorable positions that lead to flanks or control important areas of the map. One of my favorites is on Split when you're attacking on the A bomb site. When you're coming from A main and you clear A ramp out, you can TP across so the person from screens doesn't see you cross. If you keep walking up, there's a very high chance the guy playing A Heaven is very surprised. If you get that kill, you essentially have gained control of A Heaven by yourself, leading to your teammates just needing to get one lone enemy on the A bomb site. This is just one case of how he can outplay a team. There's so much more he can do when you master him and pair his dark cover and shrouded step together. For example, the first time you use your smoke and walk into it, they will be watching the smoke. If you're in the smoke and you use shrouded step to a corner, they might still be fixated on the smoke and you're able to get a free kill. It's creative plays like this that give Omen a ton of potential. Mix in that with his ultimate from the darkness and you will throw your opponents in a jumble of hectic chaos. While you can use Omen's ultimate to go to the other team's spawn, that's quite predictable. But even then, it might work out. One thing I would recommend is saving it to use on a push onto a bomb site. You can ulti into a spot you like on the bomb site while your team is pushing in and make it so that the opponents have to focus on your teammates or your ultimate. This is a very strong move that puts a lot of pressure onto the opponents. Definitely try this out if you are an Omen main. Of course, as for all of these characters such as Omen, I wouldn't jump straight into ranked with them. I'd advise you to practice in unrated first, or if you have VODs of you playing, you should go to ProGuides.com. where you can get the best coaches to help review your gameplay and help you improve a ton. We have a brand new feature called InstaPro, which provides unlimited 24/7 on-demand coaching from the best of the best at any time. If you haven't checked out the website already, go check it out now in the link below and see if there's any coaches you like. You can message them before you start a session to see who they main, what kind of coaching they do, and what their expertise is. You won't regret it. And speaking about regret, you won't regret picking up Sova as your main. Coming second on this list, this Russian hunter is an absolute monster on the attacking side, giving your teammates info on where enemies are playing. With his signature ability, Recon Bolt, coming up every 35 seconds, you can have a ton of control over areas of the map where you shoot your dart, meaning your teammates don't have to risk their lives to clear certain angles. If you watch somebody like Nick Wu play Sova, it's an absolute pleasure to watch somebody who mastered their character. He has an unabsorbable amount of knowledge on the best places to use his recon dart and completely crushes the enemy team with superior info gathering. If you want to be like some of the best Sova players in the game, you have to spend the time to learn arrows in custom games, and we can actually help you out with that. Our video on 25 insane Sova lineups you need to know will be in the link below. Make sure to check out that video if you decide to pick this character up. Moving to his owl drone, like I said with his recon bolt, if you can clear an area of the map without risking anybody's life, that's amazing. His owl drone is on the more expensive side of abilities, but it's all too worth it. Owl drone can be used to clear angles, be used as bait, and also tag people so you can see them through walls, similar to Cypher's camera. If you do tag somebody with your owl drone, use your Hunter's Fury if available to get the best chance to get an easy pick. Hunter's Fury is best accompanied with a Recon Bolt or Owl Drone. It can also be used when enemies are pushing into small corridors if you hear a lot of them. If you are planning to use Sova's Owl Drone, make sure to communicate with your team to push alongside with it so it can be used as bait. But it's also important to recognize your position when you're using Owl Drone, as you will be stuck in the same place for an extended period of time, and enemies can run you down if you aren't careful. For number 3, we have a character that will definitely be moving players around with his ultimate abilities. It's Breach. Breach is very unique in the fact that he's the only true disruptor class in the game. His kit is focused on helping clear angles and debilitate opponents laying in his wake. He is probably the strongest agent in the game, as many people have been saying, since all the other agents received the nerfs in the patch 0.5. His flash is the strongest in the game compared to his flashing counterpart Phoenix. Breach's flashpoint goes through walls and lasts longer when directly hit by it. His aftershock may seem rather weak at first glance, but it is surprisingly very useful. You can clear a lot of common hiding spots with this ability, and people sometimes don't expect the range the explosion has. Another useful tip is to use it on post plant when they tap the bomb. That way you don't have to run up to check if they are sticking the defuse, as it will stop their defuse or leave them dead in the process. For a mere 100 credits, this ability is severely underrated. As for his next ability, Fault Line, I find it more useful on defense. When you hear that enemies are going through a narrow choke, use this ability on that choke and peek after. It's a very strong setup, as if you can catch them, they will be dazed. Offensively, you can use it to clear a few angles, but at most it will catch one and they'll usually be able to retreat to cover. That doesn't mean it's bad though, as Fault Line will get them off the angle for you to take control of that area. As for his ultimate, Rolling Thunder, it's not just a cool volleyball move. It's one of the most devastating ultimates in the game. Breach can single-handedly clear a bomb site with a well-placed ultimate, as it launches anybody caught up in the air, even if they are behind cover, and dazes them, making them very vulnerable. This daze will limit their rate of fire as well, so capitalizing when using your ultimate is a must. If you're the person that likes crowd control abilities and causing chaos for the enemy team, Breach is by far the best pick for you. For our 4th agent, we have the venomous lady in green, Viper. In terms of tier list, she's not going to be near the top, however it doesn't mean she has no benefit to the team. Viper, like Omen, depends on her bag of tricks. You have to know certain lineups if you want to succeed as Viper. If you know her lineups, however, her one-ways can be devastating. One-ways, for those of you that don't know, is when you purposely leave a gap in the smoke that allows you to see them and not vice versa. She has many one-ways on every map that you have to learn to fully utilize her potential. If you are interested in these one-ways, check out our 25 advanced tips video where we covered a few of them later in the video. Next is her toxic screen, which is essentially a wall of smoke. This is especially useful as you can split a bomb site very easily with this ability, allowing your teammates to gain access to the bomb site easier. There are a lot of different ways you can split a bomb site with your toxic screen. Making sure you practice it in custom games is a must. You should also learn how to manage her resource, as she has fuel that she uses for her smokes. Be sure when you're not actively doing something or holding from a push, you turn off your smoke wall or your poison orb to recharge your fuel. At the same time, if you're on the opposite side of the map of your toxic screen, turning it on would cause the defending side to hesitate before rotating. This could be a nice little fake to buy a few crucial seconds for your teammates to get onto site. Keep that in mind for Viper Snakebite. There's no way around it, it's the weakest molly in the game, but that doesn't mean it's useless. Since Viper has a maximum of 2 Snakebites in a round, they are generally good for clearing corners you think enemies are hiding in. Even if Snakebite doesn't have the highest of DPS, it will soften up enemies and make them leave a spot they were hiding in. Hopefully the buffs they promised for Viper at launch will suffice for current and future Viper mains. Viper's last ability is Viper's Pit. Viper's Pit creates a large smoke of toxin in a targeted area. This ultimate is tricky to get value out of, but it does have some situations where it's amazing. On defense, if you go down a man early, you can use this on an important choke and hold it down for your team. Of course, you do require some mechanical abilities to shoot down enemies, so make sure that you are ready, as enemies that enter your ultimate are highlighted in red. Post plants are fantastic for Viper, as her ultimate can section off attacking and defending players alike. Viper's Pit plus Snakebite have good synergy, and you'll find yourself getting some free kills if your enemies aren't looking at their health. If you want more in-depth Viper guide, check out the one we just posted on our channel. It goes over everything we talked about plus more. Last but not least, we have our mysterious hatted friend, Cypher. For Cypher, he may be one of the more contested picks on this list, but it's well deserved. His role as a sentinel is no joke. He can single-handedly shut down a choke by himself and is matched only by Sage in terms of defensive capabilities. His tripwire has insane value in giving information towards his team, and you know when his enemies hit the tripwire as it gives vision of them even if you're across the map. If the enemies find the tripwire and it gets shot, then you know an enemy is in that vicinity. If knowledge is power, then Cypher is Hercules. Paired with Cyber Cage, you can activate it when somebody hits a tripwire and then spray them down through the Cyber Cage. Even with just those two abilities, he'd be a good character, but he also has a portable camera that he carries around. He's able to place the camera in advantageous spots, giving invaluable information to him and his team. If destroyed, it gets put on a 45-second cooldown. If he decides to move it, the camera cannot be placed for the next 15 seconds. So if you can, be sure to try and pick your camera up as it will save you 30 seconds, which is a lot. His ultimate is actually one of the weaker ones in the game. It's just a slight wall hack which allows you to see where all the enemies are located for a fraction of the second. While it is useful, you do require to find a fresh body, and even if you get that information, the enemy can still move from where they were originally located. If you like more defensive play, gathering info, and having a hat, Cypher is the agent for you. And there you go. We covered the best 5 agents for you to main in this video. Hope this gave you some inspiration to pick up some new agents and learn them. If you did get inspired, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to show some support for our work. As always, love you all ProGuides family, and I'll catch you all next time. Straight out.